Selected poems by Emily Dickinson. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit librivox.org. Recording by Becky Miller, Canal Winchester, Ohio. The Soul Selects Her Own Society by Emily Dickinson. The soul selects her own society, then shuts the door. On her divine majority obtrude no more. Unmoved, she notes the chariots pausing at her low gate. Unmoved, an emperor is kneeling upon her mat. I've known her from an ample nation choose one, then close the valves of her attention like stone. This recording is in the public domain. After Great Pain by Emily Dickinson, read for LibriVox.org by Becky Miller. After great pain, a formal feeling comes. The nerves sit ceremonious like tombs. The stiff heart questions, was it he that bore, and yesterday, or centuries before? The feet mechanical go round, of ground or air or aught. A wooden way, regardless grown, a quartz contentment like a stone. This is the hour of lead, remembered if outlived, as freezing persons recollect the snow. First chill, then stupor, then the letting go. This recording is in the public domain. Hope is the Thing with Feathers by Emily Dickinson, read for LibriVox.org by Becky Miller. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul, and sings the tune without the words, and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. This recording is in the public domain. I Never Hear the Word Escape by Emily Dickinson, read for LibriVox.org by Becky Miller. I never hear the word escape without a quicker blood, a sudden expectation, a flying attitude. I never hear of prisons broad by soldiers battered down, but I tug childish at my bars, only to fail again. This recording is in the public domain. There Is No Frigate Like a Book by Emily Dickinson, read for LibriVox.org by Becky Miller. There is no frigate like a book to take us lands away, nor any coursers like a page of prancing poetry. This traverse may the poorest take without a press of toll. How frugal is the chariot that bears a human soul! This recording is in the public domain. Because I Could Not Stop for Death by Emily Dickinson, read for LibriVox.org by Becky Miller. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. We slowly drove, he knew no haste, and I had put away my labor, and my leisure too, for his civility. We passed the school where children played at wrestling in a ring. We passed the fields of gazing grain. We passed the setting sun. We paused before a house that seemed a swelling of the ground. The roof was scarcely visible, the cornice but a mound. Since then 'tis centuries, but each feels shorter than the day I first surmised the horses' heads were toward eternity.
This recording is in the public domain. Of All the Sounds Dispatched Abroad by Emily Dickinson, read for Librivox.org by Becky Miller.
Of all the sounds dispatched abroad, there's not a charge to me like that old measure in the boughs, that phraseless melody the wind does, working like a hand whose fingers comb the sky, then quiver down with tufts of tune permitted gods and me. When winds go round and round in bands and thrum upon the door, and birds take places overhead to bear them orchestra, I crave him grace of summer boughs. If such an outcast be, he never heard that fleshless chant rise solemn in the tree, as of some caravan of sound on deserts in the sky had broken rank, then knit and passed in seamless company.
This recording is in the public domain. Success is Counted Sweetest by Emily Dickinson, read for Librivox.org by Becky Miller.
Success is counted sweetest by those who ne'er succeed to comprehend a nectar requires sorest need. Not one of all the purple host who took the flag today can tell the definition so clear of victory, as he defeated, dying, on whose forbidden ear the distant strains of triumph break, agonized and clear.
This recording is in the public domain. If I Can Stop One Heart from Breaking by Emily Dickinson, read for Librivox.org by Becky Miller.
If I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not live in vain. If I can ease one life the aching, or cool one pain, or help one fainting robin unto his nest again, I shall not live in vain.
This recording is in the public domain. To Fight Aloud by Emily Dickinson, read for Librivox.org by Becky Miller.
To fight aloud is very brave, but gallanter I know who charge within the bosom the cavalry of woe. Who win and nations do not see, who fall and none observe, whose dying eyes no country regards with patriot love. We trust in plumed procession, for such the angels go, rank after rank, with even feet and uniforms of snow.
This recording is in the public domain. Pain Has an Element of Blank by Emily Dickinson, read for Librivox.org by Becky Miller.
Pain has an element of blank. It cannot recollect when it began, or if there were a day when it was not. It has no future but itself. Its infinite realms contain its past, enlightened to perceive new periods of pain.
This recording is in the public domain. I Can Wade Grief by Emily Dickinson, read for Librivox.org by Becky Miller.
I can wade grief, whole pools of it. I'm used to that. But the least push of joy breaks up my feet, and I tip, drunken. Let no pebble smile. 'Twas the new liquor, that was all. Power is only pain, stranded through discipline, till weights will hang. Give balm to giants, and they'll wilt like men. Give Himala, they'll carry him.
This recording is in the public domain. For Each Ecstatic Instant by Emily Dickinson. Read for Librivox.org by Becky Miller.
For each ecstatic instant we must an anguish pay in keen and quivering ratio to the ecstasy. For each beloved hour sharp pittances of years, bitter contested farthings, and coffers heaped with tears.
This recording is in the public domain. I Meant to Have But Modest Needs by Emily Dickinson. Read for Librivox.org by Becky Miller.
I meant to have but modest needs, such as content and heaven. Within my income these could lie, and life and I keep even. But since the last included both, it would suffice my prayer but just for one to stipulate, and grace would grant the pair. And so upon this wise I prayed, Great Spirit, give to me a heaven not so large as yours, but large enough for me. A smile suffused Jehovah's face, the cherubim withdrew, grave saints stole out to look at me, and showed their dimples too. I left the place with all my might, my prayer away I threw, the quiet ages picked it up, and judgment twinkled too. That one so honest be extant as take the tale for true, that whatsoever you shall ask itself be given you. But I, grown shrewder, scan the skies with a suspicious air, as children swindled for the first, all swindlers be infer.
This recording is in the public domain. A Thought Went Up My Mind Today by Emily Dickinson. Read for Librivox.org by Becky Miller.
A thought went up my mind today that I have had before, but did not finish. Some way back I could not fix the year, nor where it went, nor why it came the second time to me, nor definitely what it was, have I the art to say. But somewhere in my soul I know I've met the thing before. It just reminded me 'twas all, and came my way no more.
This recording is in the public domain. Is Heaven a Physician by Emily Dickinson. Read for Librivox.org by Becky Miller.
Is heaven a physician? They say that he can heal, but medicine posthumous is unavailable. Is heaven an exchequer? They speak of what we owe, but that negotiation I'm not a party to.
This recording is in the public domain. A Poor Torn Heart by Emily Dickinson. Read for Librivox.org by Becky Miller.
A poor torn heart, a tattered heart, that sat it down to rest, nor noticed that the ebbing day flowed silver to the west, nor noticed night did soft descend, nor constellation burn, intent upon the vision of latitudes unknown. The angels happening that way this dusty heart espied, tenderly took it up from toil, and carried it to God. There, sandals for the barefoot, there, gathered from the gales, to the blue havens by the hand lead the wandering sails.
This recording is in the public domain. I Should Have Been Too Glad by Emily Dickinson. Read for Librivox.org by Becky Miller.
I should have been too glad, I see, too lifted for the scant degree of life's penurious round. My little circuit would have shamed this new circumference, have blamed the homelier time behind. I should have been too saved, I see, too rescued. Fear too dim to me that I could spell the prayer I knew so perfect yesterday, that scalding one, Sabachthani, recited fluent here. Earth would have been too much, I see, and heaven not enough for me. I should have had the joy without the fear to justify, the palm without the Calvary. So, Saviour, crucify! Defeat whets victory, they say. The reefs in old Gethsemane endear the shore beyond. 'Tis beggars' banquets best define. 'Tis thirsting vitalizes wine. Faith faints to understand.
This recording is in the public domain. Each Life Converges by Emily Dickinson, read for Librivox.org by Becky Miller.
Each life converges to some center, expressed or still. Exists in every human nature a goal. Admitted scarcely to itself, it may be, too fair for credibility's temerity to dare. Adored with caution as a brittle heaven, to reach were hopeless as the rainbow's raiment to touch, yet persevered toward, sure for the distance. How high unto the saints' slow diligence the sky! Ungained it may be by a life's low venture, but then eternity enables the endeavoring again.
This recording is in the public domain. My Life Closed Twice by Emily Dickinson, read for Librivox.org by Becky Miller.
My life closed twice before its close. It yet remains to see if immortality unveil a third event to me. So huge, so hopeless to conceive as these that twice befell. Parting is all we know of heaven, and all we need of hell.
This recording is in the public domain. I Felt a Cleavage in My Mind by Emily Dickinson, read for Librivox.org by Becky Miller.
I felt a cleavage in my mind, as if my brain had split. I tried to match it, seam by seam, but could not make them fit. The thought behind I strove to join unto the thought before, but sequence raveled out of reach, like balls upon a floor.
This recording is in the public domain. If Recollecting Were Forgetting by Emily Dickinson, read for Librivox.org by Becky Miller.
If recollecting were forgetting, then I remember not. And if forgetting, recollecting, how near I had forgot. And if to miss were merry, and if to mourn were gay, how very blithe the fingers that gathered these to-day.
This recording is in the public domain. The Brain is Wider Than the Sky by Emily Dickinson, read for Librivox.org by Becky Miller.
The brain is wider than the sky, for put them side by side, the one the other will include with ease, and you beside. The brain is deeper than the sea, for hold them blue to blue, the one the other will absorb, as sponges buckets do. The brain is just the weight of God, for lift them pound for pound, and they will differ if they do, as syllable from sound.
This recording is in the public domain. Softened by Time's Consummate Plush, by Emily Dickinson. Librivox.org, by Becky Miller.
Softened by time's consummate plush, how sleek the woe appears that threatened childhood's citadel, and undermined the years. Bisected now by bleaker griefs, we envy the despair that devastated childhood's realm, so easy to repair.
This recording is in the public domain.
I had no time to hate, because the grave would hinder me, and life was not so ample I could finish enmity. Nor had I time to love, but since some industry must be, the little toil of love, I thought, was large enough for me.